The Dayan Tengyun V2M is the successor to the rather popular Dayan Tengyun V1. This cube was quite hyped, and I'm here to answer the question as to whether or not this puzzle lives up to its expectations. Quickly, I'd like to thank SpeedCubeShop for sending me this puzzle. If you're interested in buying this cube or any others, SCS has some great options and recently just lowered their international shipping costs. To be fully transparent, I have not been told or paid to say anything else in particular about this cube, and these are all my personal thoughts. Again, I would like to thank SCS for sending me this puzzle. I'll link this one and some other great options in the description below. Included in the box is the cube, flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers, a tensioning tool, a spare core, more springs, and a couple information pamphlets on the puzzle. Out of the box, the plastic literally feels a little bit harder than the Tengyun V1. It feels more solid. The Tengyun V2 kind of feels like a combination of the GAN XS, the Moyu WRM, and the MGC Elite, all great cubes in like their own aspects. It feels very similar turning-wise to the GAN X, or the GAN XS, pretty much any modern GAN cube with its kind of plush and crunchy turning style. It has a similar tension system to the Moyu WRM and other similar Moyu cubes, and has a similar system magnet-wise to the MGC Elite, allowing you to adjust the strength. However, it does have some rather annoying issues that just makes this cube not my first choice when deciding on what puzzle to use. The tensioning system on the Tengyun V2M provides a lot of combinations for both the screw head height and the spring elasticity, which is how strong the spring is. The elasticity part of the system is changed by the outer octagon, where you can use the large part of the tensioning tool that comes in the box and turn it to match up with the little triangle on the inner part of the tensioning system. The spring elasticity ranges from 0, the weakest, to 1.5, the strongest setting. Stronger springs generally mean a more stable puzzle, while weaker springs allow the cube to flex more. However, it kind of trades corner cutting for this. I settled on 1 for the spring elasticity setting. The inner hexagon changes the screw height, where there are 4 settings ranging from 0.6, the tightest screw height setting, to 1.2, the loosest. This numbering system is opposite to the elasticity system, which is a little bit confusing. The magnet system is pretty straightforward, with the magnet that is currently in use the one that is furthest away from the core. These range from strong being 1 to weak being number 3. The magnet settings are all pretty viable. I could see someone switching from the GTS 3M, which has relatively strong magnets, to the first setting on the Dayan Tengyun V2, and someone using the Tengyun V1 switching to the Dayan Tengyun V2, which has slightly stronger magnets on the weakest magnetic setting. Feel-wise, it really does feel like a modern GAN cube. Well put together, a little bit crunchy, but otherwise extremely smooth. It is relatively quiet, however, is a bit louder than the Tengyun V1. Now for performance, it cuts basically everywhere on all the stock tensions that are available for the screw head height. However, I do think that the tensions that come preset with the puzzle are too loose. Even on the tightest 0.6 setting, I was still experiencing corner twist. I ended up using 0.6 and tightening it by a quarter turn to make it even tighter than what is offered. This, I think, kind of defeats the purpose of the tensioning system. The outer part of the system I can see being useful, as it serves the same purpose as the dual adjustment system seen in Moyu cubes, where it does have a pretty profound effect on how the cube performs. However, the screw head system, firstly, is too loose for my preferences, and even on the tightest preset setting it corner twists, which is, I think, just blatantly unacceptable nowadays. I had to tighten it further with the screwdriver, which is like, okay, I've just used a screwdriver for the system that was meant to be replaced by this system. It is just a little bit confusing and convoluted in my opinion. Maybe just leaving this system out and letting the user use a screwdriver probably would have been cheaper first of all, would have required less plastic probably, and just makes more sense. The numbers on the tensioning system are very, very small. When I was unboxing the puzzle, I couldn't get it to be shown on camera, and still really can't get it to be shown on camera now. That's why I have the diagrams on screen, otherwise it's kind of difficult to see. In low-light scenarios, it's pretty much impossible to tension this puzzle. I had to move to somewhere with more direct lighting to tension it because it just isn't very visible. Instead, maybe colouring the tensioning system might have been an interesting idea to play around with, as then it just depends on the colour, or maybe making the numbers coloured. I don't know. I think there's probably a system better than this one. In solves, the cube performs a little bit subpar. I could see this cube being perfectly suited to someone who uses more flexy puzzles. However, the Tengyun V2M just has some random layer misalignments. It's quite frustrating. If a random layer misalignment occurs in a solve, I can usually recover, and it just turns out to be a pretty mediocre solve. However, with the Tengyun V2M, I can get multiple misalignments in a single solve, resulting in this. I don't have this problem on other cubes like my WRM, which is a year old at this point, and my SM, which is a couple of years old at this point, which is kind of interesting. Here in this solve, I hesitated on a U-perm because I was afraid a random layer misalignment or a corner twist would occur. If I pushed my TPS, it could have easily been a 6, but I just didn't have the confidence to turn more aggressively. All this combined, I think this cube is definitely usable, but probably not for me. With the convoluted tensioning system and 2 loose presets for the screw head height, along with corner twisting on very tight tensions, I can't personally use this cube. However, if you turn more accurately and prefer a fast and loose cube, this may be for you. The feel of the puzzle is great, and I plan on using it just for casually untimed solves, or maybe even OH, depending on how I set it up again. It feels very akin to a GAN puzzle, I can't say this enough, it is very similar. I do also prefer the magnet strengths available in the Tengyun V2 in comparison to the Tengyun V1, as they're just generally stronger, and I think all 3 options are viable. Would I recommend this cube? If you turn aggressively, or inaccurately, or have a knack for more controllable puzzles, probably not. However, if you have a light and accurate turning style, I think this puzzle is worth a shot, especially with its customization options, albeit a little over the top in my opinion. Again, links to buy this puzzle and many others are in the description. Thanks to SpeedCubeShop for sending me this puzzle again, and thank you for watching.